I see some individuals that work at dealerships that do really funny YouTube or TikTok or whatever medium skits that border on the line of edgy and maybe like, but like, I mean, it's cool. I think it's fun. It's entertaining. It demystifies the car buying experience and makes it more welcoming, but does it help move them? Is the question I would have.
Oh, hey there. Welcome to another episode of Leadership in the Dealership. I'm your host, Don Richards-Boeff. Today, we're going to talk about how to keep the attention of a specific buyer, Gen Z, and strategies that you can employ at your dealership if you aren't already. And if you are employing these kinds of strategies, how you can go to the next step with attracting Gen Z buyers who maybe have a little bit of a different attention span than the rest of us, although I think I'm already done with this. I'm going to go back to my phone. But let's talk about things today that we can do in the dealership that maybe you've heard from your customers so far, or maybe that you've got experience doing directly. Let's start with that, Danielle. What are some of the strategies that we think dealers can be successful with? I've heard stories and definitely watched the videos of folks like Mohawk Chevrolet out of New York. They did a viral series called The Dealership. Hilarious. They got a lot of press outside of just the industry, car buyers, lots of people showing up on YouTube. What are some of the things like that dealers can do that are attention-getting and are a little bit different than, say, normal advertising?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Mohawk Chevy, and I think that is the perfect dealer to highlight initially, because what they really did is they took their staff, they looked at who they have in their dealership and saw who is somebody that can really take some of these key trends and let's put that into the ether. And I think it's important for the dealers like listening to this, looking at their own staff, seeing who on their staff is a Gen Z, who on their staff is aware of all the different trends that are going on, and coming up with some unique ways to kind of highlight what they do on a day-to-day at the dealership by way of what they're posting and what they have, on their phones. Some of the things that I like to talk about when I meet with dealers is how you can build your own personal brand and ways that the dealership staff themselves can start making their own videos and putting it out there. But most people are struggling when it comes to doing that because they don't feel comfortable putting themselves on camera. I don't know, you guys, do you guys ever like putting yourself on camera?
I'm on camera right now, so I guess I enjoy this. Otherwise, I'm a glutton for punishment. But I don't know, like the social media thing seems very interesting. It's the cool thing to do. I would like to ask any dealer out there to show me their ROI on their social media engagement. Like, does it really move metal? I don't know. Like, and most, I don't know. I guess I'm not a Gen Zer, so I don't know if there's a Gen Zer out there that say, "Man, I bought that car from those guys because I saw their TikTok video." Like, like, is that your target customer? Does it work? And if it works, is it profitable? I don't know.
I'll say this, a lot of the dealerships that I talk to who actually make this a part of their strategy, the ones that are putting videos out there, and really the ones who have staff who've made this like a focal point of what they're doing, they're seeing from at least themselves a lot of business and ROI that's coming in by way of that, because it's different, it's unique, it's a way for them to build their audience, and it's not what everybody else is doing. I'd say
They should. I mean, if they're investing that type of real estate and money into social media, they should find a way to track it.
100% if they have campaigns going in those channels, they are tracking it. Otherwise, they're just throwing money away, regardless of whom they're trying to reach out to, whether it's Gen Z or otherwise. But I think they're tracking it for sure.
Well, I'll say this. I don't think a lot of it is as expensive as we think. Think about how simple it is to take your phone out, to hold it up, and to just speak to the audience. And that's essentially what a lot of these salespeople are doing in trying to connect and build that brand. It's free, something they can do on their own. Yes, we talked about Mohawk Chevy, maybe they have more of a production, but a lot of the dealers that I talk to that have started implementing some of these strategies are keeping it very simple, very free, using devices that they have to be able to build their brands. And it's something that anybody could really do. It doesn't cost anything.
I guess I've become the generation of get off my lawn.
What do you mean?
Like the old guy that says, "Get off my lawn." Like, I guess I've become the old guy. You
don't look that old.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. I'm drinking my water. That's what drinking water and minding your
Stay
business
on-
does that for you.
Yeah.
Hydration is key.
I don't know. Like it is really cool. I think there are fascinating different ways dealerships are marketing to consumers. I would just like to understand the ROI. Like I see some exotic dealers go as far as making like YouTube videos of cars, like very cinematic. I'm like, man, that was a lot of money, right? Like, hopefully you sold that Lamborghini, right? When then I see dealerships that make, and I don't know if the owner is involved. I don't know if the owner knows, but like I see some individuals that work at dealerships that do really funny YouTube or TikTok or whatever medium skits that border on the line of edgy and maybe like, but like, I mean, it's cool. I think it's fun. It's entertaining. It demystifies the car buying experience and makes it very more welcoming. But does it help move metal? Is the question I would have. And I think that's the question, anyone that's employing those tactics has as well.
Well, as long as you put attribution on there, you can answer that question of, did that campaign go out there? Did it help move metal? Did it bring in that particular customer type? You said, get off my lawn. Yeah, I think if you don't start getting into these strategies, you're just going to miss a certain segment of customers who's not going to see your advertisement anyway. They're going to enter the market. They're going to buy cars. We're not at self-driving cars yet, despite what I told my kids when I was raising them. We have to buy cars. So how are they going to find out about your dealership? It's certainly not going to be Facebook ads for that particular customer. It's going to be on TikTok. It's going to be on YouTube.
What do you think is more powerful? Is it a human-generated 15-second video on Instagram, or is it the OEM co-opt ad that's on Instagram?
For what audience?
For Gen Z.
Any audience.
I mean,
Okay.
in the world of, bear with me, right?
All right.
One of the things that's really like fascinating about social media is like most of us sitting here, we have our phones on vibrate. Most times you go out in public, people's phones are on silent. Like, are people listening to these videos or are they visually watching these videos? Because that's a lot of work to go out like, hey, I'm at Keishawn's Kia. Come on, like, as opposed to like the OEM and the co-op ad that's in the social media space.
See, I can tell you don't have kids of this age because
This is true.
most of them are turning
The audio on?
no, they're turning closed captions on.
Oh,
right?
see, I didn't know you could put closed action.
Everything has words coming across the screens, right?
Absolutely.
You think kids don't read?
I mean, maybe the education system is failing some kids, but
Well,
no, they read closed captions. They watch it with the movie, right? I mean,
That's true. I mean, I do too. Like sometimes I go on YouTube and like if the kids are around and I want to watch a YouTube video, I too watch the voice caption. But I just think Gen Z. What year is Gen Z? So I'm not.
so
It's 16 to 27. That's how old they are.
a little bit.
So let's just say 16 to 21 right now. Like let's just bear with me.
Oh, you're going really.
I'm gonna narrow it in because the 22 to 27 is more mature. They've started their job. They started their career.
Fine.
Like they're they're doing a thing. But hopefully. Well, I don't know. I think it's very interesting what is happening. I think the investment of buying a car in social media is just like the investment into electric vehicles. It was a really exciting thing, and it kind of fizzled out a little bit. I know it's controversial. Don't look at it like that. That's what we're here for. Like,
well, I'll say this. I think that honestly, we're not considering how influential and impactful influencers can be. And
well, those are two different things. Influencers and Billy at John's Ford trying to sell me a car through social media. Because some would say you're an influencer.
Okay.
Some might say there are other big influencers. Like if Kim Kardashian did a social media post for Jaguar, they would sell a ton of those pink cars. They would.
Yeah.
But if Danielle goes and does it, you might sell. How many cars do you think you're worth at Jaguar?
Well, if you're listening, Jaguar, my rates are negotiable.
But that's the thing. Like, it's not always the message, just the messenger as well, right? And that is
That's
all of our point. social media is impactful, but if I'm Billy at Bob's Ford's and I got 10 followers and I'm posting this video and it's got one person looking, that's my mom, like, there's a lot of time invested that
But I still think you have to think about hyper local as well. I agree with you when you said, "Hey, what's going to perform better? That tier 2 co-op ad from the manufacturer, that's where your influencers come into play." And I think to that point, put the message out there that's going to influence that buyer, because it's certainly about different. What's going to make you buy a car is different than what's going to make my
was
kid.
not life gonna make me a buyer car these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or for my kids, maybe lease a car or
Yeah, you love leases. Yeah.
rent a car or something like that.
I mean, this is an interesting problem to try to discuss and solve. If someone had figured it out, they'd be a billionaire off of social media influencing cars. You could buy cars all online just from Kim Kardashian. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you would pay her a lot of money.
Put Taylor Swift in a Super Bowl ad and for Jaguar and watch the revenue go up 45% overnight.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm giving away free game.
Right.
$1 billion worth
Yeah.
of game. That's
I'll say this though, like going back to the Billy Bob at the dealership, every single like
it's just Billy Bob.
You Billy Bob. Tim.
I feel like every dealer listening to this right now knows their dealership, and they all have that one person at their dealership who has that unique personality, something special about them. In order for
Guarantee
salespeople,
you that owner would prefer him be on the phone, following up with customers to make a social media
oh,
videos.
I'm sure, but you're underestimating the impact of taking what they're doing with that follow up.
Don likes to see us argue, by the way. He's like, oh,
Yeah.
come on.
Ow. The brother and the sister are fighting. Yeah. I mean,
I'm just saying, like,
bring it up.
think about like that one salesperson who, after they sell every single car, they have that meaningful interaction with that consumer. They capture it, they put it onto their page. They're starting to build that following. They do little tips and tricks about the vehicle. They put it, so they're building that slowly and organically, and it actually does cultivate into something.
So
It-
there
it-
is a negative
Connotation.
connotation
I got you.
about Gen Zers, right? Their attention span. Somebody tried to make a joke about that, and like those things. Like some people say that they don't work or something. Like there's all these things about it. Can two things be true? Can those negative connotations about the way people view Gen Zers, which is very bad that they view them that way, can it be true that they're also interested in buying a car and they want more debt? Like, can that be true as well?
I think so.
Okay.
But I think the stereotypes are actually true of all of us. We all have short attention spans, and what we're talking about here is how can you be not only a progressive dealer with your service, the way you take care of a customer when they walk in the dealership, but how can you be progressive with the messages that you're putting out there, whether it's to a Gen Z buyer or, frankly, someone who's just tired of advertising. So I think this is
Allow all cookies. I'm so tired of them.
Oh, hey, I had a good chocolate chip cookie earlier today, so I'll take more of those. But I think this is all about what are the strategies that you can put into new channels that you may not be paying attention to. Because look, I know we're talking about a certain segment of consumer, which is a convenient way to talk about the issues that dealers and really the industry faces as far as advertising. But the same thing was true. Y'all might not have been born yet. I don't know yet. But when
There goes being ageist again.
so then we asked dealers about, hey, the internet and advertising, and I'm never going to put an ad on Auto Trader, anything like that. So there's always been naysayers, which I appreciate your being a naysayer on purpose, Keishawn. But
Well, I would like to report to the judge I'm not being a naysayer. I'm providing credible challenge to theories and hypotheses that do not have data to support them.
fair enough.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, challenge accepted. As far as these strategies go,
Well-
that dealers need to look at ways to put a different message out there. And I'm going to return it back to Danielle, who probably lives online far more than either you or I as far as what strategies work. So, Danielle, let's talk about, as we think about this and we're coming to the end, what are the best practices for getting that message out there, regardless of your customer? And maybe what might help those Gen Zers specifically?
Yeah, I think number one, if you're a dealer and you're listening to this, like we said, look at your staff. See if there's somebody in your staff who has the type of personality where you can kind of see that glimmer in them, and then say like, hey, would you be open to doing a little video, just speaking to the camera, talking to your customers and getting them interested. I think that is something very, very small. And I've seen this work with a lot of different BDC teams in a lot of different dealerships, getting them to answer leads with video, getting them to respond, getting them to talk directly to that customer using social media. That is a way that we know for a fact is different. Majority of the dealers are not doing it. And it's a way for that dealer to stand out and be unique. How many times do we just get that generic lead form that comes back, but that's a template, when it can be personalized, when it can have customizations, when people can be speaking to you directly? People buy from people they feel like they know, like, and trust. And when you actually speak and you're on video, I'm using video because that's like the one area, if you look at all social media platforms, it's the one thing that they're pushing. It's the one area that everybody is looking to. Dealers shouldn't be any different. They should be embracing these things, and that way they will withstand the test of time there. Challenge me on that, Keishawn. What you got?
I mean,
What you got, Keishawn?
I got a little challenge.
Okay.
Got a little challenge.
All right.
You bought your iPhone. Did you need Tim Cook to call you on video? All right. When you bought your last Christmas gift from Amazon, did you need somebody customer service rep with a blue vest on to call you and tell you about it?
Well, false, because on Instagram, I buy 90% of the things that I do buy is by way of an ad that catches my attention. But the way that the ad is done makes it feel like I'm speaking with somebody who's showcasing something to me or telling me about something. I'm that consumer.
Influencers.
Correct.
Well, I will say that not everybody can afford Kim Kardashian to
Right.
promote their vehicles. So one of the things we haven't talked about that dealers can do that brings the cost down and maybe increases the chances of positive ROI is generative AI. So you can work as individual personalities. You might have a Keishawn.
I can't believe y'all made me the oldest guy today on this.
Y'all might have a Keishawn at your dealership who you can put in video. I wouldn't recommend it. You can see what's happening here. But you could use Gen AI to create templates of interesting advertisements that don't even necessarily require a strong influencer personality. Like a Keishawn, you just get good eye-catching movement, you get the model, you get the messaging and the words that are going to catch people's attention at the places they're at, which right now, if we go look at the numbers, is YouTube, is Snapchat, is TikTok. It's not the channels that Keishawn's going to buy a vehicle from, or frankly, me or maybe Danielle. So I think that's another opportunity. People maybe aren't.
I think Kia should bring the hamsters back.
Hamsters.
You like that one?
Yeah.
I think the hamsters will work in the social media environment.
Oh, like bringing it back today? Yeah, I mean,
It was provided. Hamsters was fun. I don't know. I just get it. I maybe I am the old guy now, and I will embrace that. Me and my salt and pepper. I don't know. I guess I got to tap in with the young boys. I don't and gals. I don't know if it would move the needle for me if I'm looking to buy a car. I would buy one based off a social media post.
this is not you though. This is that Gen Z.
I'm saying if I Gen Z, I think they would rebel from that type of market. I don't know. I would feel like they would feel like it's disingenuous in a way.
Hmm.
Like, cause they're kind of cool, right? Like, and they
Cool
could be
kids.
like,
So then I'll challenge you to put yourself in that Gen Zers headspace then and say, what is going to work?
a simple, seamless process where they can buy a car without doing anything,
All right.
right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
So
Fair.
one of the things I've always
That's not advertising, but that's
it's not advertising. It's an experience, and like I think about, I've said this before. One of the things that drew me to Upstart was like the simplicity of buying an iPhone.
Mhm.
Right? You pick the model, you pick the storage, you pick how long you want to pay for. Why should buying a car be any more difficult than that? And I think if a influencer, someone online, whoever can sell that vision to a Gen Zer, that's when you see higher adoption, you see higher close rates, you see more profitability. Because the thing we're not talking about is cool story. You got that kid excuse me, I should not call them. You got that 16-year-old to 27-year-old to come into your store. What experience are you going to give them to keep them in your store? Like that's the thing that we still haven't figured out, because the experience for that 16 to 27-year-old is just like the experience you and I actually want, but they don't want that.
100%.
So that's where I think about the marketing is cool, but what do you do with it when you get them? And what if they don't want to come into the dealership? Right? Because a lot of them sitting on the couch, having a good time, scrolling through whatever, just ordered Instacart.
On a live stream. They do a lot of streaming.
Just ordered like whatever. Like they can do everything from a click of a button. And you want me to look at your video telling me to come in to talk about something. No, in your video, tell me how much I'm going to pay, what color you're going to give me, what options I'm going to have, and like let me set up automatic payment. Right, and then you bring me the car.
But that's actually valid.
Punch. Yeah, it's a 1-2 punch. So let's say you get the right message out there, however you do it to get the ROI. I think you're on point, regardless of.
Thank you. I needed the affirmation.
Yeah, really. It's
Really
you haven't heard it today, but maybe this is the first time.
Like the great quarterback for Alabama once said was, let a naysayer know. So since you decided to call me a naysayer, and could you share what else you would do if you wanted to do more social media driven engagement for your Gen Zers?
Sure. So whatever message you're putting out there, whether it's entertaining, you're thinking about what Mohawk Chevrolet did with the dealership episodes. Everybody watch those. You're providing, just entertainment value. You're following up with a message that everybody wants to see. No matter what it is, it's transparent, it's authentic. You're showing them, here's the value of coming to me as a dealership, because they can go to someone else. So, hey, if you're going to talk about affordability, put the price right there, make it very clear. Don't leave them with a bunch of questions. Like, hey, we've got the vehicles you're looking for. Yes, payments you can afford. Tell them why to come in. Hey, you're not going to spend 4 hours in there, because the last thing they want to do, last thing any of us want to do is spend hours in there. So just be value driven. Like, tell them what the ROI of a transaction with your dealership is. Just like you're saying, what is the ROI of a campaign? So just be really clear with what the value is.
Yeah, and honestly, I think like one thing that we haven't touched on that's really important is like Gen Zs use YouTube to search for everything. They're not even using Google. They're using YouTube as the one place that they're going if they want to check how to, change their tire or how to, learn more about their vehicle. So we have to make sure that dealers are providing a ton of value in the content that they're putting out there, because this is the first place that they're looking to get that.
When the Gen Zer goes to YouTube, what do you think they're typing in the search box?
Which car is going to make me look cool?
That's what it should research that. Should research something else on YouTube, because I just want to know what the top videos are for. Let's do how to buy a car.
How to buy a car.
How to buy a car. All right. So
let's look at it. What does it say?
If we did how to buy a car, what do you think the first video? How many views do you think the first video has?
Over 1 million. Over 1 million.
Russ flips whips, probably.
Over 1 million.
It's 174,000, and the title is "How to Buy a Car. Do not do it without knowing these 5 things." There's a Gen Zer on there, and then there's I don't know what. Maybe he's a boomer, and they're yelling at each other. So maybe it's confrontational. It's call to actions. It's reasons to believe.
Value driven.
The next video has 4 million views.
There we go.
Now this one says questions to never answer on a car lot. So I mean, maybe you have a point. That there are a lot of people that this third one has 1 million views. So there's a lot of viewers there, but do those turn into deals? Those are the questions that I still don't know if anyone has the answers to.
Maybe not, but you can put out there stress-free negotiations, no haggle, right? Lean into the thing.
Do you think a Gen Zer knows what haggle means?
I was saying it's haggle, so now they...
So go haggle. Like what?
What? Yeah, fair enough.
So maybe that's something you should recommend to your social media. Like use terms that
100%
reach the customer.
Yeah. Speak in their language, right?
Yeah.
You talk to any customer, speak in the language that.
Don't say no haggle. It might seems like the kids turn all these words into different something else. Like you don't know what haggle actually means these days.
You got to put Riz on it. I hear Riz a lot. Okay.
Eat that car right off the lot.
Excuse me?
You get the advertisement in front of the right shopper, and then
And then,
You follow up with that experience that was easy, simple. I think we all want that, but you're right.
I think we're saying the same things.
Mhm.
The social media marketing goes far. It doesn't go far enough.
That's not the end. That's just the beginning.
It's the beginning.
Yeah.
That's the beginning of the funnel. We got to bring them down. We got to bring it in.
Challenge ourselves to create
Yeah.
experiences that are valued enough to them to complete the process. Because maybe I will agree that you guys have gotten the old man to say, yeah, you can market to them, but can you sell to them?
Right.
Oh, that's a bar. Write that one down.
That is.
Oh man, put that on their NADA like flag. You can market to them, but can you sell?
You sell to them. And
That would be that seamless. So I killed that.
that would be that
You should have just dropped the mic and closed the episodes.
seamless easy experience.
I mean, that was it.
Yeah.
That's the title. You can market to them, but
But can you sell it to them?
that's like a if you build it, they will come type thing.
Yeah.
They will come, but can you sell them? Wow, prophetic.
I know. Your next job is your next career opportunity.
Hey, I'll drop $1 million worth of game. I told Jaguar to go hire Kim or Taylor. Taylor might be a little cheaper because she got a lot of money. And if Kansas City makes it to the Super Bowl, they probably can get a discount because of Travis, family and friends discount.
Yeah.
And we,
Little did y'all know you were turning in for this kind of,
yeah, and if you can get some Gen Zers to watch this, maybe we just discovered the next trillionaire, right? There's some Gen Zer that's sitting at home watching this like, oh, I can build that thing. And like, boom. So when you make it to your first trillion, just put me on the IPO.
Yeah. I like that.
I think that might be advice we have for the school.
What's this is free game?
If you like what you heard, like or subscribe.
Find us on Snapchat.
They viewed it, but did they like it? And they subscribed.
All right, it was another episode of Leadership the Dealership with Keishawn, Danielle, and Don.
Until next time.